The following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader in local news, sports, and entertainment, and the voice of the FCIAC.
The following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties.
And a pleasant Thursday, good afternoon to you everyone under sunny skies. It is high school boys soccer on the HAN Network. With Tim Murphy, Eric Gendron, our entire crew, I'm Rob Adams. Today, the Greenwich Cardinals at 1-0-1 take on the Wilton Warriors at 1-0 in this boys soccer matchup at Cardinal Stadium in Greenwich. And a very pleasant good afternoon to you. It is just absolutely beautiful for mid-September, Murph, and a great day here, and hopefully we've got some good boys soccer coming up between a couple of teams that want to do some big things in the FCIAC.
Yeah, both these teams have playoff title aspirations. Wilton with their 23 seniors, a program record, so no lack of experience. Greenwich, one of the two co-favorites with Fairfield Ward. Greenwich lost in the finals last year to Ward, FCIAC finals. And, of course, they've got their big gun, Nick Bartles, arguably the best striker in the state, 29 goals, 16 assists last year, both school records. So task for Wilton will be keeping Mr. Bartles from scoring and setting up goals.
And we'll see exactly what we've got today. Obviously, with the 4 o'clock and 4:30 start, folks are still going to trickle in as the afternoon goes along, but certainly you can't ask for much more weather-wise. Is this a good atmosphere for a soccer game in that regard, weather-wise?
It's good as long as you're in shape. I mean, it's an early season game, so this could be a little bit of a test for you've seen in the later second half. You know, if one team is in better physical condition, because definitely it's going to be pretty hot out there on the turf.
Temperatures have continued to spike as the week has gone along. It's been a very pleasant week for sure, but that being said, it is without a doubt a warm one out here at Cardinal Stadium. The Cardinals down to our left, enjoying the shade of the western end zone, so they are down there in that atmosphere, while the Warriors in the blue are across the way and out in the sun right now, and nobody in any rush at this point. Kirk Putnam's Greenwich Cardinals team, and of course at the other side it is Jim Lewicki and the Wilton Warriors. Had a chance to talk with both coaches. They seem both ready to go, but more so seem to want to talk about what we're doing versus what they're doing. So they're just focused on getting the games going and taking it easy.
You're right. It's early season. Wilton beat Bridgeport Central the other day 3-1. A little bit of a slow start, scoreless for 60 minutes, and Wilton scored 3 goals. Greenwich tied St. Joseph and then took apart West Hill 4-0. We'll have to see today in the West Hill game. Greenwich moved Bartles back from striker to sit in midfield with an injury there, and I think from what I heard, he actually enjoyed it because he wasn't triple marked like he is when he's striker. So we'll have to see where he lines up today.
We were talking before the game. I was speaking with Brian Kennedy, who runs things around here at Cardinal Stadium, along with everyone around here, and they were saying they seem to think this is the first event they've had here in the new school year that at least the folks I was talking to could remember. And of course, the first football game still a week away from here. The Cardinals will play tomorrow on the road against Trinity Catholic over in Stamford.
And welcome to Cardinal Stadium for this afternoon's FCIAC boys soccer
as we get ready
for
Greenwich and Wilton, we will pause for a break. We will come back and get things going from here right after this on the HAN Network.
In honoring America.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Does buying a car leave you feeling like you're chasing your tail? Head straight to Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and take car buying in a whole new direction.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Carl Chevrolet is proud to sponsor HAN Network's coverage of the area's best high school sports. No matter the sport, competition in the FCIAC is spirited, so get out and cheer on your favorite team. If you can't make it to the game, be sure to bring HAN Network with you to keep up with the action. Visit Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
Welcome back to Cardinal Stadium in Greenwich with Tim Murphy. I'm Rob Adams, and once again, a good afternoon to you one and all. And whole crew on hand today. Of course, this all leads us into tomorrow when we really get things going. And Murph, a big football game to get the season going tomorrow night up at Lancaster Field at Tiger Hollow as the Ridgefield Tigers host the New Canaan Rams here on the HAN Network. And I'm still fascinated, and we'll get into it more tomorrow, but I get this sense that what we saw last year was unique with the Tigers, and I'm very interested to see what kind of team they bring out this year.
It should be vastly improved. They only lost a few seniors, only a couple who really were major contributors. I know from talking to the coach and some of the players, they're ready to go. They've used it as motivation last year's 2-9 season. So they're looking forward to New Canaan, a huge test, obviously, in the first game. But I think they feel pretty confident about a little bit of a turnaround this year.
Coffee break will start your day tomorrow at 11. Then later on at 4, we will have the broadcast for you of the tailgate show, the FCIAC tailgate show at 4, followed by the FCIAC game day show, which is the pregame at 5. And Chris Irway and I will have the call at 7 o'clock tomorrow night at Tiger Hollow. The athletic director, Carl Charles, has worked so diligently with us, and not very often I have to go out to an arena or a stadium beforehand, and Carl and I were walking all around, taking in all the different setups that we could possibly have for this game, so we certainly appreciate that. This is also another building where they're always pretty kind to me over the years. As I mentioned, Brian Kennedy, who largely runs so much of the athletic operations, and I've known him a very long time. He and I were in Cardinal Stadium probably about 10 o'clock this morning, just going through some of the internet stuff, and was visiting with some friends here at Greenwich High School. So certainly always nice to come back to Greenwich High School and to Cardinal Stadium, a place that does need a little bit of a facelift. It is a touch long in the tooth now. The bleachers getting much older. The scoreboard was, I can tell you the exact day that scoreboard got turned on. The Greenwich Old Timers Athletic Association scoreboard was turned on in September of 2000. It happened to be my first broadcast calling Cardinal games here, so they have talked about wanting to upgrade that. There still are no permanent restrooms, so you're using the porta potties down below. And for a while, it took a lot to get improvements to Cardinal Stadium in any way, shape, or form. What they went through just to get lights was a whole story, so much so that the debate throughout the town was actually broadcast. The town meeting was broadcast on the local radio station, which is WGCH, which has been around since 1964. So, and they have been the voice of the Cardinals all those years. Even just getting the Cardinals nest built, which is the concession stand, was a whole debate in and of itself. Tony Natal and her family waged a whole lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get a very small brick building built, and that only opened in 1999 or so. So they go through quite a bit just to get upgrades here at Cardinal Stadium. And
speaking of nests, I hear there's a hornet's nest right around here.
The rumor is it is just outside, and in fact, as you say that, I see a couple swirling off to your left out the window, the center window here. Even this press box got rebuilt. It burned in the 2000 season, got rebuilt in time for 2001. We are delaying just a hair because, well, we're not ready to go. We're ready to go.
Wilton's ready to go.
Wilton is ready to go. Now Greenwich is joining the conversation. Greenwich in the white, Wilton in the blue. accenting that closer to navy blue that they wear with the white, not really showcasing that really cool nautical blue that they often have on some of their uniforms. That lighter blue. But Greenwich traditional in the red and white, a hint of black here and there, and away we go. So Greenwich will set things up as they bring things over to the near side. Kicked back down by Cole Hawthorne of Wilton. Then pooched across by Richard Rodas of Greenwich.
And Bartles is playing the more forward role today for Greenwich so far.
Off on the far side it goes, and it'll be retrieved over there and thrown back in by the Warriors.
Wilton does have that experienced central defense with Prinner and Ravi Chandran, so that's going to be a plus.
Half minute gone by in the first half, no score. And sent down, and Greenwich retrieves it and sends it back the other way.
Yeah, that cross too close to the goal. Romero easily able to snag it.
I was telling you, and this is something that I have to get used to in covering soccer. Of course, you cover hockey, for instance, or lacrosse, or some of the other sports. You can glance down at net, you see the number of the jersey of the the player occupying the net, and you're good to go. Not in soccer, of course. And in this case, they don't have jerseys on. I mean, they have, uniforms. They have the kits on, but no number.
And it gets confusing when they switch goalies, too.
It does, and you said that Wilton does have a tendency to do that.
And Wilton, they used a rotation in the first game. Mitchell Bascom in the first half, Gray Livingstone in the second half.
As this will bounce over closer to our side of the field. No score. Minute and a half gone by.
Both tall goalies. I mean, Greenwich might want to keep their shots on the ground. Both of these Wilton goalies about 6'3".
Yeah, he is tall. You're right. So throw him back in, and we get a whistle to stop things.
You don't see that too much. An illegal throw-in.
I spy some of the Greenwich players with what you might call a unique hairdo. I'll expand upon that in a moment as it got close to the Wilton net. Now Greenwich trying to control it with Sebastian O. Over to the far side it goes. Tangled up over there. It looks like Nick DeVatz's for Wilton.
Yeah, good job shielding the ball. Get the goal kick. A little uncertainty for Wilton on the cross that came into the middle. But no harm.
So the Warriors will reset. And they'll send it back. As it's grabbed again by Greenwich. That was O.
Oh.
Bouncing around, it'll go far wide. Off to the right side of the netminder.
Bascom just got there in time to deflect that.
No score, 2 and change gone. First half. Greenwich moving from left to right in the white with the red.
They looked for Bartles on that corner kick, but good defense from Wilton.
Charging down, scooting across, and just off the post. A second try coming, and it goes well over and up toward the ridge where the flagpole is.
2 Greenwich players in disbelief, and I don't blame them. What chances? One shot off the post, clear rebound, skied over the net.
Good opportunity there, and still no score.
That might be one they wish they had back.
Absolutely. So it'll be brought back in. Bounces around, and Greenwich will try to redirect it with Richard Rodas. Now Wilton with Jordan Lord, a senior. Sends it down to the near side. I mentioned as you get a look at Federico Irigoyen, the sophomore for Greenwich, he's got, wearing number 9, he's got what can be politely called a unique hairdo. And that is a little bit of a Greenwich tradition, certainly with the football team, but with other teams as well. They have been known the night before their first game to, build a little team chemistry by cutting each other's hair. And I've seen some funky styles here over the years.
You want someone who likes you to do that job.
Absolutely.
Early season game, no surprise, the struggling to string passes together. The ball's in the air, probably more than both coaches would like.
Is rhythm also an issue at this time of year?
Yes. A lot of the players play on different teams in the off-season, different premier club teams, so it can be a little bit of a challenge, even if you've got a skilled team, to bring them all together.
As Hawthorne threw it back in for Wilton, comes over to the near side. Here for Greenwich was Jake Montgomery, a junior, wearing 26. Now it's off the head of Hawthorne. Greenwich in white, Wilton in blue, and no score. Turned over. Go ahead, Tim.
Nice job by Bartles coming back to dispossess the Wilton player.
That was Carlos Hernandez wearing number 19 for Wilton.
Wilton traditionally loves to substitute, very deep team, so that could help them today on a hot day.
Near side, there is Nick Bartles. Bartles wearing number 3 for Greenwich, but
now you can see Bartles a little more withdrawn role on that one. He's kind of moved back, playing right behind the striker. He has 2 people marking him.
yeah, I'm just thinking in terms of us staying hydrated, and we're almost out of water already. The crew absolutely needed the beverages, so these guys need to do it more than we do as it comes out near side. That's Patrick Printer, who Murph highlighted in our opening.
He's a rock in the center of the defense.
As it'll be tossed back in. David Schneidman of Wilton wearing number 3.
Nice turn by Allers. And Wilton, this is a little better from Wilton.
What are you seeing that tells you it's a little bit better early on?
Well, that was probably their best passing combination right there. You see how they strung a few nice passes,
Yep.
Good movement. No one held on to the ball too long. One-touch passing.
Just about 7 gone in the first half of a scoreless game.
Wilton finding some space now in midfield. Here's Allers. Now they're finding their rhythm now. Moving the ball back to go forward. Printer coming up.
Still no score with just about 7.5 gone in the first half. And I was just getting a word off microphone. Now, if you're seeing this later on, know that it's a rebroadcast. Why? Because we will rebroadcast it in its entirety immediately following. So just don't get confused if you're seeing it later on and it's, 7, 8 o'clock. It's a rebroadcast. Hopefully the bright sun will give it away. Still no score, Murph, as Greenwich brings it over near side. And I do want to remind you our great sponsors bringing you FCIAC Sports, including boys soccer, Walter Stewart's Market, Pamby Motors, Coastal Orthopedics, and Carl Chevrolet.
Jordan Lord starting to assert himself a little bit in midfield for Wilton, finding some space, distributing the ball. That's what Wilton wants to build up with those short passes.
Microphones are going askew here, Greenwich High School. I had nothing to do with that, I promise you. That'll go over to the Greenwich bench. Still no score.
Not a lot of chances so far. Just that one Greenwich, the 2-for-1 special that they botched.
And that really was just a great opportunity to kind of set the tone of this game, and Greenwich came up empty as it comes all the way back out.
Well, especially the rebound off the post was wide open.
Absolutely.
And that's one you're going to be thinking about tonight. There's Bartles showing some skill, breaking free.
Bartles gets it down, but it's turned back. That was, that was Ravichandran for Wilton.
We'll see what they do here with the direct kick. This could be a dangerous situation.
So they'll line it up closer.
Looks as though Bartles might take this.
Bartles waiting. Bartles will make the approach. There's the whistle, the approach.
Oh,
and he bounces
beautiful.
it in.
Oh, that was skill right there.
The knuckleball gives Greenwich the 1-0 lead.
The Wilton goalie going the wrong way. A beautiful spin on the ball. And soccer games sometimes can be decided by a moment of brilliance, and there you saw why Bartles is so highly regarded. I think the Wilton goalie was a little blocked by his wall, too. I think the wall might have served him a disservice on that.
What I noticed, Murph, I saw something along those lines as well, because it looked like the goalie kind of stepped out and gave the what happened there kind of indication.
Here's the replay.
Greenwich goal scored by Bartles.
So now Wilton trying to get something going. Had it there for a moment. Now they put it on and turned back the other way. Good play. Devotzi's there for Wilton.
Devotzi's coming up from this fullback position, or right midfield. Nice attempt there. Goalie well positioned for that, though.
So are you of the opinion the 1-0 you like or 1-0?
I prefer 1-0, but
that's what I've been saying so far, but, I'm trying to be cautious and not offend.
You haven't said pitch yet, have you?
I don't think I've said pitch. I said match the other day for sure, and I said kit when talking about the uniform.
Yes.
Yeah, I try. Try to pay attention. Near side, Wilton trying to get this game tied up, or match if you will. It was Hawthorne to turn it over toward Hernandez.
Oh, Printer almost gave that one away.
Printer works it forward. Gets it to Brandt. That's
nice
Jack
ball from Brandt, but a little too far.
And Greenwich
Good
will take
idea.
That. Yep, Greenwich will take that right back. Bartles and Friedman, the captains for Kurt Putnam and Greenwich. I talked to their assistant coach, Ray Marshall, before the game for a bit. We appreciate the excitement that everyone's kind of happy to see us here.
A lot of room in midfield. As you can see, as the game's getting underway, there was a much tighter marking at the beginning of the game in the midfield. Now we're getting some room. Should open things up.
That's Schneidman. Sends it back out to Ravichandran, who works at far side. Now Ravichandran will take it back. Good challenges on some of these names. I just want to mention that, with no offense intended.
We're doing our best with no pronunciation guide.
It is worth mentioning, and I mention it at least once a year, if not more. There are no SIDs, sports info directors, at the high school level. There just aren't. So you don't, unless you're able to really get hold of a coach that can give you that information. And I'll tell you a dangerous story about that. I would always talk to coaches, especially when you cover a team day to day, as I did from time to time. And I can remember one player for sure, it was midway through the season before a parent came over and corrected me. And I mentioned it to the coach, and he said, well, guess I had it wrong all along, too.
That does happen. You have names spelled wrong for a couple of years, and then someone will let you know.
Yeah. Schneidman for Wilton. With a head of steam, Hawthorne had it taken away from him by Mendiv for Greenwich.
Mendiv, a good job to get back on that ball. It could have been a dangerous situation there.
Coming up on the 14-minute mark. Nick Bartles, the difference in the game at 9:57 in, so what you would call the 10th minute. And we play at 1-0. As Greenwich tries to move it back from left to right.
Yeah, you can see the linking play is just not quite there yet.
Football tomorrow here on the HAN Network. Ridgefield and New Canaan.
And football today.
And indeed, football, FUTBOL today. On the far side.
And there's Bartles.
Yep.
They give him license to move all over the field.
Now Wilton will go and retrieve it. That looks at Ravichandran. Comes over near side, Hawthorne. And sent right back by Friedman. Friedman, a junior, one of the captains, as I mentioned.
Nice turn there, but again, unable to make that next pass.
So Wilton will look to reset. They trail 1-0. Ravichandran now over near side. Got away from Hawthorne. So Greenwich will take it back. Nico Ortiz leaves it behind. But he had it taken away. Now poked away by Friedman. And Hernandez for Wilton. Ahead to Allers. Allers trying to find a seam inside, but it wasn't there for Devatzes.
Yeah, both teams are just lacking that crucial next pass.
As Bartles goes over and plays it near his own bench.
Allers, the brother of former Wilton striker Chauncey Allers.
And it probably goes without saying, Murph, but there are those tuning in who may not know there is a good history, obviously, of soccer at Wilton High School.
Definitely both boys and girls, especially what we know Christine Lilly on the girls' side. But
right.
The boys always field very competitive teams. They might not be in that upper echelon, but they're certainly a quality side.
Bartles there for Greenwich.
They're giving Bartles more space, Wilton, which could be detrimental to them.
Now Greenwich trying to turn it back. That was Mendive. Over on the far side with the Warriors now. Here's Ravichandran. 1-0 our score, 17 gone, first half.
Wilton has moved Printer up into a little more of a midfield, holding midfield role.
Left behind for Lord. Kind of kicked around for a moment and turned back.
Right idea, just a little too far on that pass.
Friedman will bring it in. Here's Printer. Printer sends it across in a 1-0 game. They'll roll onto the track. Greenwich will throw it right back in.
Devatz is playing well for Wilton. Good hustle to beat that loose ball. His older brother Jody played at Wilton High too. So Wilton has some bloodlines out here.
This will roll down toward the Wilton net.
Now it's interesting, Bartles is at the beginning of the game, Wilton had two people on him at all times. Now you're seeing he's starting to find some seams. That's possible. Maybe they move Printer up to play more of a marking role. We'll have to see.
Bouncing around on that far side.
Always confusing when they play soccer on a football field with the out-of-bounds lines.
Yeah, we were talking about that before the game.
Good tackle by Printer.
Same can go for lacrosse as well, but I think the numbers come in handy as Ortiz went down for Greenwich. He's right back up. Just about the midway point of the first half in a 1-0 Greenwich lead. Greenwich off the break, brings it near side for Ortiz. He gets tangled up with Daniel Jensen. Jensen and he having a good battle.
That was some righteous stuff there from Jensen.
Yeah.
A good job to interrupt that. Could have been a 3-on-2 break.
Shadows falling to our left, coming out of the west end zone. Old Church Road up at the top of the hill. Beyond that almost pastoral setting down there as this bounces around and goes over the crossbar.
Wow, the Wilton goalie little didn't take charge of that one.
Yeah.
It seemed like an easy ball to come out and catch. I don't know if he lost it in the sun, but dangerous bounce right in front of the goal.
And I believe, Murph, that's our first substitution of the day. It's the first time I remember hearing the horn.
Surprising considering the heat.
Alejandro McLean checking in for Greenwich.
He was a big spark for Greenwich last year. Another dangerous player. Water break.
So they're doing the water break today, which I don't believe, and Eric Gendron's off mic, I don't recall a water break the other day. Yeah, Eric's kind of giving me the indication that I don't think he remembers one either, but I could be wrong. And the other day being the McMahon girls soccer game with New Canaan on Tuesday, which is interesting. You know, the water breaks have become more of a mandatory thing. We saw it last week when we did football with Notre Dame of Fairfield and Weston. We saw the mandatory water breaks that day as well. But I know there's a certain level you've got to get across on the thermometer, and we seem to have hit it today.
Right. Some purists still have issue with that. The last World Cup, where they started giving water breaks, it seemed odd to interrupt the flow.
It does seem odd to stop a game, especially a game like soccer that does have a running clock. So it does seem a little odd, but I think there are certain concessions you're going to make to player safety, and this one doesn't seem all that bad.
Sure. And these are, of course, high school players, not on scholarship or getting paid. And some of them will be going home doing their algebra homework.
Absolutely true. Again, we'll talk plenty more football tomorrow, but you talk about an interesting football team. The Greenwich Cardinals will be one of them. And I do think their opponents, the Trinity Catholic Crusaders, are a fascinating team as well. I think the winner that comes out of that game tomorrow is off to a really big start. We could probably snag a break here, so we will do so. We've got 20:01 to go in the first half. 1-0, Greenwich on top of Wilton on the HAN Network.
Do you do a lot of running around but get nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels.
Along with Tim Murphy, Eric Gendron directing, I'm Rob Adams. Greenwich High School's Cardinal Stadium, where, of course, they are always proud of the guy whose picture is right above the press box, and that is, of course, Steve Young. Steve Young, who played here, was a highly regarded, truly wing T style of quarterback, which is what Greenwich ran here forever.
Now, was he that much of a star in high school, or was he? Did he mature more in college?
He was well regarded, Murph. He was not, Bobby Valentine was probably the Fairfield County star athlete coming out of Rippewam and Stamford. Everyone knew he was a big deal. Steve Young, I think people knew he was big. I don't think they knew how big he would be. I think he really matured when he went to BYU and obviously turned the Cougars into a phenomenal passing program that also included Jim McMahon as well, which McMahon obviously played a big role in that also.
Hey, you talk to a lot of people that go back ways in Fairfield County sports, and they still consider Bobby Valentine the best all-around athlete
I agree.
they saw.
I agree. Young was a star here for sure, and his brothers, Tom and Mike, were stars here also. The Young family was just an absolute sports legacy here. Young pitched a no-hitter. He was a three-sport star, three-sport captain, which is pretty rare here at Greenwich. To my knowledge, there was one point that they went about 20 years between it of having the same three of, football, basketball, and baseball. A terrific athlete named Pat Wilson, who I had the chance to cover years later, and a great young man. He was the next three-sport athlete, and boy, he had the goods.
Yeah, with the specialization, you really don't see three-sport athletes that much. Never mind captains.
We play on at 1-0 with just about 19 to go in the first half. So right above Cardinal Stadium's press box is a big picture of Steve Young in his 49ers uniform, playing for the Niners, of course. Won a Super Bowl, threw 6 touchdown passes, Super Bowl 29.
Well, we'll see if that break does anything for Wilton. They really had trouble in that final third, kind of linking passes to get off any kind of shots.
Now turned back deep into the Wilton zone, but Wilton will come over near side and play it. That was Jordan Lord. So it rolls out to the near side. Fermin Mendive gets it back in.
And Bartles getting a lot of attention now.
Bartles tries to get around Printer. Instead, it'll be Greenwich holding on to it with Rodas. And out it comes with Jack Brandt. Brandt will send it back, and that's Ravichandran to the far side.
You still see they're just struggling to build anything in the
Yeah.
Greenwich zone.
Ortiz for Greenwich. To the far end. Ortiz gets it again. Dancing around, and he shoots it.
Nice ball, but no one there.
In fact, Allers was there for Wilton. Thrown back in by Greenwich. Allers again. Bartles lets it bounce off his body. Kind of lets it roll right off the back of his head. Certainly terrific skills by Nick Bartles, the senior for Greenwich.
Yeah, he's capable at any moment of creating something pretty much out of nothing.
Our next trip to Greenwich will be a week from Saturday when the Darien Blue Wave come calling here for a football game. That'll be a big early test for Greenwich. For Darien, they just seem like they've got the pieces together. So Darien's dangerous in the on-paper sense.
They're pretty good on the field, too.
Yes, they are. The question is, can they stay grounded and keep it together? Nice ball down the middle, but good job defensively. I believe that was Printer who did that.
Wasn't Printer. Can't see the number, but
Maybe
that was a nice through ball. A great idea. Broken up by...
Was it 26? If it was 26, it was Watson. So I beg your pardon if that's the case.
Definitely not Printer. Still getting 23.
23 Jensen, that would make sense. Jensen was playing well back in that end.
That was a very good defensive play because that through ball was there. And that's a case where you don't want to go down too early and commit and get a penalty.
Friedman to bring it in for Greenwich. Went to throw it to his left for McLean. Instead goes to his right for Sierra. I beg your pardon for, in any event, we stay at 1-0.
Another good job by Jensen to draw the goal kick and avoid the corner.
So now we're all set to go.
And Greenwich does that. Some of those hairstyles bring back the CBGB days.
Those are some gold shoes as it gets kicked back out. I like the CBGB's reference. That's a place that's missed.
Yes. Not the men's room. But
no. Actually, a very good friend of mine played in a band at CBGB's. I know he called that a highlight experience for him.
I can imagine. It wasn't the Talking Heads, was it?
It was not the Talking Heads. No, my friend John played in a couple of different bands over the years, but I believe it was up front, his hardcore band that, the hardcore metal movement of the 80s and 90s. both came out of high school together, and you'd never picture that was his music scene. Mild-mannered, great guy that he is, lives down in Virginia now with his wife and 2 kids, and my gosh. Still 1-0. Greenwich with the goal. Nick Bartles, just about 10 minutes in. As Wilton will try to do something with it. Wilton in blue, moving from right to left.
Greenwich really closing down on the ball. You can see the Wilton players are not having much time to turn.
That's Jensen. Daniel Jensen. Jensen, then Brandt, but Brandt had his pocket picked.
Yeah, Brandt was looking to get to that right foot. A very good right foot he has.
So Bartles will bring it near side. Ortiz, Bartles. Bartles, wrong angle. Nice play. And they both pat each other.
That was Printer. Good job to come back corner, but better than letting that cross go in.
Yeah, Bartles just couldn't find the angle there.
He had a little trouble settling the ball.
Yeah. Still 1-0.
Bartles good in the air too, so we'll see if they direct this corner kick in his vicinity.
He's got it. Oh, blocked.
Printer with a nice block.
Yes. So Greenwich retrieves, but over to the near side. Bartles. A good 25 yards out. Sends it in.
Not much Bascom could do on that.
Nope.
Perfectly placed. Again, he got the ball with, you give him too much space, and he was facing the goal, didn't have to turn. A nice deked move to the left, left-footed shot.
So Bartles again makes it 2-0.
That's a class goal.
Greenwich goal scored by Bartles.
And it's 2-0 Greenwich.
Well, Bartles with a shot over the bar. Wilton's going to have to clamp down on him. It's way too much room right in front of the goal.
Also, it's YouTube that decides what they're receiving. We're only at HD. Gotcha. Yeah, so, okay. But it looks and sounds great.
Still 2-0. Just a reminder for you as I stepped away for a moment that sometimes you may see a change in quality, and that's really that's a YouTube processing thing versus us. But there's a little wheel, a little mechanical wheel, you know, the thing that indicates settings when you're looking at the page. Just go there and you can adjust the quality manually and should reset things for you. We're going out at HD. Should be fabulous 720 quality. You know, Eric Gendron, Marty Hersom, everybody here certainly ensuring the best quality possible, and Greenwich High School has given us everything we need from a technical standpoint, but sometimes in the way that YouTube processes it, and there's no more graceful way for me to put it than that, so just wanted to put that out there. Greenwich looking for a third goal as they lead 2-0, so just make the adjustment and you'll be all right as it comes over near side. That's the same little reminder for you that we often give you about if something freezes or if audio isn't syncing up, just reset the page and you should be good to go.
And Greenwich really starting to increase the pressure. Bartles with a nice weighted ball to the corner that they weren't really able to do much with, but Nice skill to drop it in.
He'll be thrown back in by Friedman. Bounces around.
Oh, looks like a handball.
That was Max Najarian.
They're giving a little delayed, but they looking to play the advantage, maybe the ref.
McLean hands it off to Bartles, so Bartles will set up. Call that about 25 yards out.
Now this is a tight angle even for Bartles.
Yeah.
We'll see if he, I'm sure he'll diagonal this ball in.
Bascom guarding the left side of his net. Now he comes out. Everybody's set in position. Down to about 9 minutes to go first half, 2-0 Greenwich. Waiting for a whistle, and away we go. There you have it. Bartles makes the approach, pooches it, and it just kind of bounces around.
Ravi Chandra, nice clear.
Yeah. Far side for Greenwich, and it goes out. Slater will go and retrieve it. Coming down to 8.5 to go in the first half. Wilton had it. They grab it, send it back.
You see Greenwich again. Wilton really having trouble turning.
That was Owen Evershed wearing 15 for the Warriors.
One of the few juniors on the team.
He brings it over to the near side as it bounces around. Najarian, and onto the track it goes.
I think Wilton coach Jim Lewicki at halftime will tell his team to move the ball around a little quicker.
Shadows more of a factor down to our left. Of course, in the fall, that is always a classic look here at Cardinal Stadium. Those trees turning color, leaves falling. Late afternoons here, football at Cardinal Stadium, be it F-U-T or F-O-O-T.
And Greenwich goalie Jose Romero won't mind. He's able to cool off there in the shade finally.
Coming down to 7 minutes remaining in the first half.
Let's see if Wilton can do anything with this.
The Eric Gendron, A.J. Simonowski halftime extravaganza coming up. No, Tim and I will keep you company here. As Wilton had a chance. That was Najarian, who all of a sudden he's playing a bigger role in this. Far side it goes. Watson for Wilton.
Najarian with a nice opportunity there. Got his head on it, but headed it the wrong way.
Still 2-0. Actually, I bring up AJ's name just to get him out of the sun because he's really, among our crew at this point, he's the one probably getting the most sun at this point. He is right above our press box. He was asking me before the game exactly how many people come up on the press box during football. I said, oh, a lot.
He might have to consult his dermatologist after this game.
Seriously. 34 minutes gone, first half, 2-0. Greenwich with the lead, Bartles with both goals.
And Brandt still not untracked for Wilton. They're having trouble getting him the ball in space.
Printer gets it over near. Jensen has it go out onto the track.
And Wilton was a little discombobulated in their opener, so maybe they'll pick it up again in the second half.
I was chatting with the Greenwich cross-country coach, Evan Dubin, before the game. He said to me, forgive me for the glasses and the funky hat. And he had, a nice Greenwich hat on, trying to keep the sun out of his eyes, but there was a bigger story to it than that. His baby son, well, being, kids are kids, well, he kind of smashed head first into daddy's temple and gave him a concussion. Sent across and on net, they score.
Bartles again. Wow.
What a show by Bartles. 3-0.
He doesn't need much room. I just got his right foot on that. That is tough to do in the air, a volley. Not much room for error on that, and a nice deflection.
We can look at it again. Coming exactly at 35 minutes, Tim.
Let's take a look on the replay.
Greenwich goal scored by Bartles, his third of the game,
Yes,
assisted by Ortiz.
And he was marked. He was marked too. I mean, wasn't Wilton didn't do a bad job. They just was able to get there a little ahead of the Wilton player.
This is one of those things where I feel like I have to ask, did you see something like this happening? Greenwich getting out to this kind of a lead?
No, I thought it would be a closer, 1-0 type game.
Sure.
With Bartles, of course, factoring, but no, this is surprising.
Down to the 4:20 mark.
Wilton will be read the riot act at halftime. Jim Lewicki, very emotional and motivational coach.
Jason Greasley and Brandon Green are the others listed on Jim Lewicki's staff.
But really, we've seen Bartles do it all today.
Yeah.
Score on free kicks, volleys.
Which of the kicks shouldn't have gone in? Which of the goals shouldn't have been scored in your mind? Any of them? Or were they all three legit?
Well, the first one, I think, again, I'm not sure if the goalie with the wall didn't see it.
That's what I thought.
Because he just he guessed to the wrong side. It wasn't a powerful shot. The other two pretty much unstoppable. I mean,
yeah.
He had pretty much the right side of the goal covered on the second goal, but that was perfectly placed. And this one, I mean, you would need a reaction.
Yeah.
Kick save to.
Under 4 to go in the half, 3-0. Greenwich on top. Greenwich in the white, Wilton in the blue. As it's headed right back toward Bascom.
And you notice that Bartles is 3 goals, but look, he's playing pretty much center midfield right now.
Yeah.
So it's probably a wise strategy. He doesn't get the marking that he would if he was playing at striker.
Jack Brandt for Wilton. Now this will roll down. Ramachandran trying to take it away. As the ball gets loose, Bascom goes to grab it and dive on top of it. Throwing his body around out there on the Cardinal Stadium turf.
A little bit of a hot potato there.
Yeah. 2:40 to go before the break. Get away from Owen Evershed of Wilton. Now the Warriors will take it. That's Allers. Harry Allers for the Warriors.
And Wilton will really need to try and get Brandt going in the second half. Possibly they could do what Greenwich has done with Bartles and drop him back a little to ease some of the coverage.
Off to the right of the net it goes. Down to 153.
And Greenwich is going to be a tough team to beat once they get the lead, because then they can move Bartles back a little and let him play more of a playmaking role.
Jensen turns around through a sandwich.
Yeah, that's where you want to get rid of the ball a little quicker.
Noah McDonald threw it back in. And it'll roll down toward Greenwich's end. Down to 1:15 to go in the first half. .82 degrees here in Greenwich. Supposed to drop down to 61 tonight. It's just a beautiful time of year. Far side it goes. Ravichandran will go and grab it.
Yeah, he read that well.
Under a minute, first half.
Well, this is going to be a tough hill to climb for Wilton in the second half.
Down to a half minute to go. I'll try to set up anything before the break, but they've got some work to do.
And Wilton will be looking forward to the hydration, but not the verbal cascade they'll be getting at halftime.
The hydration, but not the eruption. Down to 10. Down to 2, and the first half will come to an end. Very impressive performance by the Greenwich Cardinals, or dare I say, by Nick Bartles. He and the Cardinals lead the Wilton Warriors 3-0 at halftime. What do you think?
Well, Mr. Bartles showed us why he's so highly regarded. 3 different methods of scoring, and he also distributed the ball well. And just when you have a player like that, you can really determine a game in a few moments, and that's what he's done so far. At Greenwich, it wasn't a case of Greenwich totally dominating, but Bartles, again, those moments where he can do his stuff.
Let's grab a break, and we'll come back to Cardinal Stadium for halftime. It is indeed the end of the first half, and the Greenwich Cardinals, in back of a hat trick for Nick Bartles, leads the Wilton Warriors 3-0. As we continue, boys soccer continues after this on the HAN Network.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2, and more are in stock and ready to go at the dock shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The dock shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Remind you of the last time you went into a car dealership? Experience stress-free waters at Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and find out how easy buying a car really is.
Have no fear. Hersom Acorn's Fast Frights movie contest is here. Can your film make the cut? Submit your original 3-minute horror movie today. Visit fastfrights.com for more details.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone. Football University.
School means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Does buying a car leave you feeling like you're chasing your tail? Head straight to Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and take car buying in a whole new direction.
Welcome back to Greenwich High School's Cardinal Stadium. Boys soccer on the HAN network with our entire crew. My partner Tim Murphy, I'm Rob Adams, as the Shadows make their way from left to right across the field here at Cardinal Stadium. 3-0 Greenwich on top, as it's been the Nick Bartles show so far. And of course, boys soccer and all of our sports on the HAN network, brought to you by Walter Stewart's Market, Pamby Motors, Coastal Orthopedics, and Carl Chevrolet. Now, tomorrow is a big day here on the HAN network as we get going on football season officially in the FCIAC. Of course, we did a football game last week, and what turned out to be a much more dramatic football game, as ugly as it was, and it was some ugly football, but it was fun to watch in the SWC as Notre Dame of Fairfield survived against Weston knocked off Notre Dame of Fairfield 20-18, a little late magic for Weston. They were able to get the win, and Notre Dame of Fairfield made it mighty interesting down the stretch. But in any event, FCIAC football gets underway tomorrow. We'll begin your day with coffee break at 11 o'clock. We'll have all the news and information for you. Then later on at 4 o'clock, we'll be on the air with the FCIAC Tailgate Show as we interview many of the movers and shakers and various and sundry things throughout football and sports and life all over. Absolutely, throughout Ridgefield and beyond. And then the pregame show, which we call FCIAC Game Day, will be at 5 o'clock from Tiger Hollow in Ridgefield. That'll get you all set for the football. And then finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, and certainly the moment that Chris Irway and I have been waiting for, kickoff of the 2015 FCIAC season once and for all. There was one game last week in the FCIAC as Bridgeport Central fell to West Hill 27-6. So right now the West Hill Vikings are the top dog in the FCIAC. Bridgeport Central really, their FCIAC record won't matter. They have declined to take part in the FCIAC championship game so that they can take on their traditional rivals in the city of Bridgeport, Bassick and Harding, who have moved to the CCC. But all that, or rather the CSC, the Constitution State Conference. But all that being said, we'll have the football for you tomorrow, 7 o'clock kickoff, Ridgefield and New Canaan, and of course the two-time defending state champs and the defending FCIAC runner-up, the New Canaan Rams. So we'll take a break. We'll come back. Murph will rejoin me for the second half. Greenwich with a 3-0 lead on 3 Nick Bartles goals. We come back to Cardinal Stadium in just a moment on the HAN Network.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, hoagie, phase 2 and more are in stock and ready to go at the Dock Shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The Dock Shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Carl Chevrolet is proud to sponsor HAN Network's coverage of the area's best high school sports. No matter the sport, competition in the FCIAC is spirited, so get out and cheer on your favorite team. If you can't make it to the game, be sure to bring HAN Network with you to keep up with the action. Visit Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Highcote Rockefeller Estate is Westchester County's top cultural attraction and is now open for the season. Don't miss out. Go online to hudsonvalley.org to plan your visit. Take a drive out to beautiful Sleepy Hollow, New York, and enjoy Highcote's stunning architecture, breathtaking gardens, expansive art galleries, and commanding Hudson River views. From world-class art by Picasso and Warhol to expertly tended gardens, there's something for everyone. Highcote Rockefeller Estate, a National Trust for Historic Preservation Landmark.
Do you do a lot of running around but get nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels.
Back at Cardinal Stadium in Greenwich was once a grass field for many years, and then about 12 years ago they put turf on it, as many of the schools did, down to just a few remaining. And really in the FCIAC, geez, what is it, Tim, at this point? 1 maybe? Trinity Catholic, about the only one I can think of at this point. Yeah, not many left.
No, they all went pretty quickly.
It was funny.
Domino effect.
It actually was kind of weird to call a game on grass last week, as we saw in that Weston Notre Dame of Fairfield game. But in any event, 3-0 our halftime score. How are things in Murph's turf?
They're good.
Yeah.
It's a good place to be.
It is a good place to be. I always love reading it. And Murph, you had mentioned at the top of the broadcast that Wilton has a tendency to switch goalies, and we see that right now.
Right. They did this in the opener against Central. We'll see if this keeper has any more luck with stopping Bartles. Now, I'm sure Wilton's going to want to come out and really press here. Down 3-0, you don't want to leave it late.
Right.
So I'm sure they've got to get something going here in the first 10 or 15 minutes. Let's see if they commit more players to the attack.
Early on, as we looked at the standings just in the FCIAC alone, Danbury and Trumbull both with 2 wins, as well as Ludlow and Ward. Those on the other side of the ledger are Central and West Hill at 0-2. New Canaan and Trinity are both 0-2 as well.
And Ludlow, the defending champs. Another good team this year. And Danbury, really high-octane offense.
Yeah. I mean, I know just, 2 games in, except for a couple of teams, 1 game in, I'm sure it's hard to come up with any surprises early on.
Right. It's way too early. There's a shot from distance. Harmless.
That was Ortiz for Greenwich. First minute of the second half, 3-0. Greenwich on top.
And Wilton you can see they got 6 players now in the attacking zone.
As Jensen on the far side for the Warriors. They wear the blue. Greenwich in the home white. The approach and the kick. Bouncing around and back to play it is Printer. Printer and Agudelo for Greenwich.
Printer did well to steer that. I was surprised that was a long ball. That kick gave them some trouble because almost resulted in a corner.
So it'll be Greenwich to throw it back in. That's Friedman. Friedman got it back, sent it down, and I believe that's Livingstone now in the net for Wilton.
Nice ball, Austin, boy.
And they look to move quick in transition, but instead sent back.
Yeah, Wilton is stepping it up. Of course, the danger in this is you leave yourself open to the counterattack.
Absolutely. Down to try to do something with it was Ravichandran.
So from Greenwich's perspective, they're going to have to weather the pressure and then look to counter quickly, which could open up room for Bartles too. I mean,
right.
Get him in some one-on-one situations.
Bartles has been just a wonderful playmaker, scoring 3 goals in the first half, one about 10 minutes in, one closer to 28 in, and the third one at the tail end of the 35th minute.
Now Brandt on that one finally able to create a little chance for himself, but from distance, not much on the shot.
And the approach and the kick. It was Printer who was able to get his head on it.
We'll see if number 20, Dom Favia, in there for Wilton. He provided a spark in the opener, scored a goal on his birthday.
This game initially was supposed to be a 5 o'clock start, so wound up being a 4:30 start in case you're wondering. One other game later in the season on our calendar has been changed, and this is bound to happen, so that'll be a day-to-day thing to keep an eye on. Ridgefield and Greenwich in football, originally scheduled for Friday. They're big on Friday night lights here. Well, this year it's a different world. Under first-year head coach John Marinelli, Greenwich will play 3 day games on Saturdays. And in fact, all 3 of those games will be right here on the HAN network. Next Saturday against Darien, in October against New Canaan, and then Saturday now, November 14th, against Ridgefield.
That was a good ball to Printer, creating space.
Far side, trying to get an opportunity out there,
yeah,
but
that was quality from Wilton. You said they changed direction quickly. No dribbling, just bang bang.
Yep, Romero there to take it away.
They want to keep doing that.
McLean for Greenwich. He had it taken away from him.
Devatsis, another nice defensive play.
That's Austin Slater. Back to Bartles. Rodas for Greenwich. Sends it far. Down into the corner.
Nice ball.
Bartles comes charging in.
No, he was well marked on that.
Yeah. Went off the leg of Ravichandran. Still 3-0. 5 and change gone. Second half at Greenwich High School. Field almost entirely in shadow now.
And Greenwich really getting a good defensive play from number 28, Flavian Lolo. He did well there to take the ball away from Brandt.
Bartles. Bartles, good movement. But it'll be grabbed by Livingstone.
Yeah, he was looking to lead Ortiz, but a little too far.
6 and change gone in the second half. It's 3-0 Greenwich. We mentioned at the top, Wilton had a win to start the year.
And Greenwich, one of the better goalies in the league, Jose Romero, hasn't really been tested today, though.
No.
Hasn't had to do too much.
So much of the information regarding the FCIAC can be found at FCIAC.net, an HAN network website.
Oh, that's well done.
Far side it goes. Then chipped along and well back behind the football.
Well, some promising signs here from Wilton. Definitely, they're moving the ball quicker. We talked about in the first half, they were holding on to it, getting dispossessed. Now they're moving around, opening the field up, looking to that left side. But the question is, can they find the back of the net?
Right. As this bounces around, Greenwich getting close, and it got away.
Bartles again putting on pressure. I mean, he's a combination of speed and power and skill. That's
rare.
It's a tough triumvirate to stop.
Yeah. Coming up on 8 minutes gone, second half, 3-0 Greenwich. In a game brought to you by Walter Stewart's Market, Pamby Motors, Coastal Orthopedics, and Carl Chevrolet.
Wilton has defended the corner kicks well.
This will bounce back toward the net. Livingstone will come out and play it. It'll be a full football blitz tomorrow. And yes, that is a terrible pun, and I'd be the first to admit it. I did mention Greenwich and Trinity Catholic, and that is indeed the first game tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Darien and Stamford at 6:30. Before New Canaan and Ridgefield, our broadcast comes along at 7.
A little shin guard repair for the Wilton goalie.
And it's a full Friday night of FCIAC games. And we continue on.
Well, Wilton committing more players to attack, obviously. And they're just going to have to keep creating space, like they've done a few times here in the second half. You don't want to get jammed up on one side of the ball. You got to switch it and bring it back.
3-0 Greenwich. Nick Bartles 3 times in the first half.
Greenwich doesn't really appear to be playing any more defensively. They seem to be content with the same formation.
As it scoots away and turned back, Greenwich will take it. Down the left side with Fikri.
Devatsis again. He's been a rocket fullback for Wilton.
In from the corner it'll come.
With so much attention to Bartles, it might be worthwhile to do a shorter corner. No, they're going right. Ooh.
It kind of bounced through a little.
Yeah,
it was a little shaky there for a moment.
Hopefully the goaltender communicated and said let it go.
Yeah, really. No damage. And this will bounce onto the track on the near side.
And when you have a player like Bartles, he takes so much mental concentration. The other team's always wondering where he is. It kind of takes you out of the things you want to do.
So Lolo will bring it back. First,
showing some skills.
I was about to say, yeah, the dribbling skills. I don't know if he's on the basketball team, but I don't remember. we did have Greenwich basketball once last season. And we'll have a full schedule of girls hockey, boys basketball, girls basketball, all that coming in the very near future. I saw the CIAC will put out the schedules right around October 7th, and believe me, there will be a lot of analyzing of games by myself, Murph, and all the sports editors here at the HAN Network.
I was hoping we could just skip winter this year after last year.
Yeah, I'd be happy to skip winter. I love the sports, but I'd be happy to skip the weather.
Sports are great, but yes.
Eric Gendron, AJ Simonowski, Marty Hersom, all the guys will have a say in one form or another. Ultimately, I kind of patchwork it together and hope to get the approval of my colleagues, but that's a lot to think about. Among the things, the very reason we're happy today, connectivity. And they have just been top-notch here at Greenwich. As we come up on 12 minutes gone, second half.
Well, there's a mishit. Zach Freeman, wish he had that one back, I'm sure. No pressure, just mishit that ball.
Devatsis sends it in.
Oh, and there.
Bounced right off the body. Yep.
Wilton returns the favor.
Evershed says, okay.
Soccer is all about possession. You got to hold on to that ball like it's gold.
Lolo throws it in. Of course, plenty of whistles going on around here. Plenty of practices, plenty of games. Day like this, Greenwich High is buzzing with activity. One field I spy that's absolutely not being used is the one that I've always called Cardinal Yard, and that's the baseball field. It just sounded nicer to call it Cardinal Yard than to say you're at a baseball game at Greenwich High School. It rolls onto the track.
It's a nice facility. The turf is top-notch here.
Well, they've gone through a lot with the turf fields here over the past couple of years. Soil analysis and you name it. A bunch of turf was thrown down and then it was getting ripped back up. They went through a lot of headaches just to get this turf here. Not to mention the lights, as we alluded to earlier in the broadcast. Baseball field does remain grass. Does get very wet, though. Any rain means you stand the chance of not playing a home game here and going over to Julian Curtis Middle School a little less than a mile away. And at that point, you don't get dugouts or anything like that. It's a baseball field.
Now let's see if Wilton can take advantage of this. I'm sure they'll bring a whole force of people into the middle.
Well, may the force be with them. 14 minutes gone, second half. And the chance was there, but
Printer, yeah, it's a tough.
It was a tough
in
ball.
Between
yeah.
bounds.
Yep.
Yeah,
and Printer tried, but he got too much of it, too much air.
Right. Caught it on the way up.
Yep. So it's still 3-0. Greenwich moving from right to left. Those here in the crowd enjoying the afternoon with the pleasant temperatures. Getting more pleasant as the sun begins its descent behind Old Church Road to our left.
It does look like that Bartles has more goals than Wilton has fans over there, though.
You would be correct.
3-2, I think.
Yeah. 2 in the stands.
Yeah, there's some standing.
And actually, 2 of them, I believe, are Greenwich staff members. I believe I spy the legendary Brian Kennedy in his golf cart over on the track.
That's the way to travel.
Oh, yeah. Some of these folks have just been here. And, you know, every school has it. It's not unique, but every school has their people who have just been here forever. Brian's one. The athletic trainer, Pete Falla, has been here. My gosh, he's probably got to be heading towards 17, 18 years as well.
Well, it's good when you see that continuity.
Yeah. Yep.
People really know the program, and you get to keep the tradition alive.
And that's exactly what the thing was with Greenwich hockey there for a while. They could not, after Peter Fujitani stepped away, they just couldn't seem to find a rhythm. They were still very good. Harry Geary, their head coach, led them to a couple of Frozen Four appearances in Connecticut, and a couple of FCIAC championships as well. But after he stepped away, it was just one name after another. Now with Bob Russell, they seem to be going the right way, but we won't get Eric Gendron talking hockey. And we certainly won't get him talking Greenwich hockey. He gets a little emotional on that topic, as we both do, from a 1-0 Greenwich loss back in the state championship to Darien, which right now seems like a lifetime ago. 3-0 as we play on here, 23 and change to go. Bartles had it bounce off of Devatzes.
Yeah, he did well to get a foot on that.
Lolo tangled up. Allers. And then away from Devatzes.
Wilton's still looking a little listless. Yeah. Thought they'd come out with a little more energy. They had the two times there down where they did well to move the ball around, but haven't been able to consistently do that.
By the way, I want to ponder a thrift shopping trip. I'll tell you why in a moment as this goes down. On net,
loose.
Ball loose, turned over. Greenwich has a chance, but sends it just a hair wide.
Another missed opportunity for Greenwich.
If you saw the opening of ESPN's Monday Night Football the other night, I thought it was a really nice touch to have both John Gruden and Mike Tirico wearing the old gold blazers from ABC Sports in honor of Frank Gifford. So why bring up a thrift shop? Well, when you're hearing Greenwich, Frank Gifford very much was a Greenwich man. So as we open our broadcast here from Greenwich, just thought it'd be fun to take a moment and kind of remember Frank. He was a very nice man that I had a chance to interview and was often seen right here in these grandstands watching his son play. Cody Gifford was a very good football player. So a nice little touch by ESPN the other night, and John Kovac and I have often talked about going and finding those gold blazers.
Tomorrow night, I want to see it in Richfield.
I'd always like to see I was more of the NBC guy, so give me the navy blazer that Dick Enberg was wearing. Even the green blazer that Kirk Gowdy wore in Super Bowl III.
Well, you can tell people you won the Masters.
Exactly. As this gets away from Greenwich and Mendive. 21.5 to go, 3-0. I'll keep that thought going just a hair longer. I spied yesterday at Woodway Country Club. They had the NFL Network on. And on TV was Super Bowl VII, which I don't know that I've ever seen. That, of course, is the culmination of the Dolphins' perfect season at 17-0 when they beat the Redskins 14-7. Kirk Gowdy and Al DeRogatis on the play-by-play on NBC in the Coliseum.
Was that the Garrow Yepremian?
That was the Garrow Yepremian game, the Mike Bass game. Jake Scott was the MVP. Billy Kilmer and Bob Greasy were the quarterbacks. Fun stuff. 3-0 here, Greenwich with the lead in boys soccer. Field 99% in shadow now. As Greenwich tries to control it, Wilton needs to get something going. As they bounce it around. Wilton grabs it back, that's Allers.
Yeah, Wilton, again right there, the pass is just not in the right spot. That pass too high.
And you mentioned Brandt, and he really has been almost a non-factor, and I'm sure credit goes to Greenwich for the way they've covered him.
Yeah, and then Wilton's tried moving him around a little to no avail, but he has been well marked and really pretty much a non-factor.
Ravichandran for Wilton, now Greenwich.
And he's an all-FCIAC All-State player, Brandt, so they have done a good job.
Under 20 to go. Hernandez,
Nice ball.
Yep, turns it back. Wilton scores!
We talked about Brandt, and he must have heard us because that was well done. Beautifully weighted ball. Brandt did well to stay on side. Used his speed to get past the defender and slotted the ball home. Grace under pressure. So let's see, now 20 minutes left. Well, this was the moment Wilton turned it on in the season opener. 3 goals in the last 20 minutes, so we'll see if they can do the same today.
Brandt on the far side. Wilton moving from left to right.
Come on, Blue, let's keep it going, fellas!
3-1 our score. As it bounces around with Evershed. Evershed couldn't get anything on it, so it goes back with Bartles. As Tim alluded to, it's not that Bartles has been a non-factor. It's almost like, you know, I don't want to say Greenwich was content, but and they're not calling off the Dogs by any stretch, Murph, but you know, it seemed to be a different strategy in the second half.
Yeah, a little more passive, I would say. They don't seem to be committing that many people to defense, but now I'm sure they're going to park the bus as Chelsea likes to do in the back.
Junior Billy Martin played it, and it goes out of bounds for Greenwich.
I'd be surprised if Greenwich doesn't draw more people back to defense now.
Yeah, you would think. Throw in from the far side in front of the Wilton bench.
Their defense was really stretched on that goal.
Yeah. As it gets turned back the other way. Ravichandran sends it to his left.
Brandt
sent it wide.
Now Brandt's starting to show what he can do.
Yeah, which is dangerous for both Wilton and Greenwich. Obviously dangerous for Wilton, but Greenwich has got to be careful now.
And they've a Printer all the way up, a central defender now playing up top. Take advantage of his height. They've also brought Jordan Lord up
right
to a forward.
Ravichandran.
Wilton goal scored by Jack Brandt.
And Brandt was close to being released there.
Yep. Cole Hawthorne for Wilton. Sends it along. Ravichandran. Turned back though. Bartles was there for Greenwich.
Now, Wilton coach Jim Lewicki will be wondering where this was in the first half.
Exactly. Out to the Greenwich bench it goes. Bartles, right at midfield.
You know, Bartles playing more of a distributor.
Yeah.
In this half. Which I don't know about. I might want to get him up there more with Wilton pressing forward if you could get him, spring him free.
As it pops around to the near side. Greenwich trying to put it out of reach at 4-1, and Wilton gets it to 3-2. If they do it really soon, we got ourselves an interesting game.
It hasn't been a very physical game, if you notice. Not very many fouls. No real hard challenges.
So Livingstone will send it back out. Off the head of Bartles. Evershed there. It was a little dangerous the way Hawthorne went to kick it and kind of almost like an excuse me. but he seems fine. 14:45 remaining, second half. This broadcast will run again. We will rebroadcast it, so in case you're wondering. Right now it's live, but, well, in about, I would say, 20 minutes or so, it will be on tape all over again. So just keep that in mind. But
we'll see. Will Greenwich be content to keep possession and play defensively, or will they try and go for a knockout punch?
As it rolls down onto the track, 14:05 to go, 3-1 Greenwich. Colloquially, Greenwich known as Big Red, especially the football team.
How did that start?
I don't know the genesis of the term Big Red, other than they've obviously been the big, powerful Cardinals for many years. That name is not the original name of the original mascot, but they have used Cardinals for decades, and I just think it was just a term that got attached to them. But you've given me something to research, Murph.
We'll expect an answer tomorrow.
All right. See what I can do about that. Some appreciative applause for the effort from the fans here at Cardinal Stadium.
And a foul in the box.
Yep.
It looks Allers. That's a take to.
Allers for the penalty kick. The whistle and the approach for a 3-2 game. He's got it.
Well struck and placed. Game on.
So Harry
pushing
Allers.
and shoving going on between the Greenwich goalie. No, I didn't see the call in the box. Did you?
No.
Wilton goal scored by Harry Bartles.
And here's the penalty kick. Allers knew exactly where he was going. Yeah, well done. I mean, the Greenwich goalie almost guessed right, but a nice, well-struck shot.
3-2 with 12.5 to go.
So Brandt and Allers both have picked up their second goals of the season.
That came in the 28th minute of the second half.
And Wilton doing what it did the other day. Like they apparently like to just play the last 20 minutes of the game.
3-2 our score. This will head back behind the scorer's table. So we've got a game now.
Yeah, now Greenwich, it's sometimes tough when you've been kind of in this passive mode to turn it back on.
Oh, come on.
But I think Greenwich are guilty of a little coasting in this half.
I would say so, and I wonder, you know, you talk about eruptions, I wonder what the Kurt Putnam eruption will be like.
Well, it will sound good with its British accent.
Yes, it will. And it's not likely to be on the air.
We have to have the 7-second delay for that.
And it comes. It goes up on top of the net.
Still not a lot of substitutes.
No.
In this half either.
As it bounces around near side.
And Bartles trying to take on the whole Wilton defense there.
Obviously, next goal, monumental, assuming we have a goal, with 10:09 to go. Through a double team, Ravichandran comes away with it. To the near side for Slater.
And you see they're bringing Brandt way back to get the ball, distribute, then go forward.
That was Bartles.
A good idea, but well played by Wilton. Hawthorne.
Sounds like really those in the Wilton crowd are sitting right out in front of us. They opted to not go sit in the opposing bleachers, the visiting bleachers.
It is a far walk over there.
$9:19 to go. 3-2 Greenwich. Down into the corner it goes.
Yeah, Greenwich, will they be content to just work the ball in the corners and take time off the clock?
Right.
Still a lot of time to go, though.
This will head right back down toward that same corner. Turn back the other way,
There's a
and
foul.
Yep.
See if that'll be a card. We haven't had any cards today.
No, we have not.
No.
Nope.
That was actually a well done foul that really prevented a possible breakaway.
Yep. Here's the approach and the
Bartles.
kick. Yep.
Oh. Well played by Livingston. In the right position.
Back out to midfield. $7:40 to go. Still time. Greenwich holding a 3-2 lead.
And Wilton's been much more effective with bringing Lord and Prenner up front alongside Brandt. Aller's playing in the more midfield role. Wilton player down on the far side.
And we play on with 6:57 to go. Bouncing around and blocked by Ravichandran.
And Greenwich finally showing some energy here.
Yeah, the prevent defense wasn't going to get it done.
No.
Austin Slater was kind of stretching up against the near side post of the net.
Yeah, he still looks a little bothered.
That's Cole Hawthorne on the far post. Now the corner coming in. Got headed back the other way by the Warriors. And then redirected by Greenwich. Down goes. And taken out to the near side. Nice play by
Yeah,
Lolo.
Lolo once again doing well to come back. Stop Brandt from a scoring chance.
Brandt, as he came over to grab the ball right in front of some students, started kind of waving to them to make some more noise.
He's an emotional player, Brandt. Trying to pump up those Wilton faithful.
Nice play by Lolo again. Very
Yeah,
active.
Lolo's been impressive.
Those bright yellow sneakers, or soccer cleats, if you will. 5.5 to go, second half. Redirected back out to the midfield, near side, bounce out onto the track.
In Greenwich, fluorescent shoes all over the field.
You didn't quite have those when we were kids, Murph.
No. It's the classic 3-stripe Adidas.
Yeah.
White with black stripes.
That's what they were. You're right. Down the near side. And tossed right back in by the Warriors.
Ravi Chandra now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brandt was there.
Yeah, he tried to elbow his way to space, but not able to do it.
At the other end, slowing things up. 4.5 to go. Knocked away. Taken back by Ortiz. Nico Ortiz. Pooch back toward midfield. Lord for the Warriors. This pops up. Ravichandran was there. He'll go and retrieve it. And sent back the other way. 4 minutes remaining. The Cardinals looking to put this one away. A second try, and it goes wide.
Great job by the Wilton goalie.
Yeah.
To read that and come out.
The Warriors still have a prayer that almost reminiscent of Greenwich's first chance in the first half.
Right. Another chance with the rebound. Goalie out of position, but a great job by Livingston to read that play. With Ravi Chandran drawn up to attack, Wilton really had no one back on defense on that play.
Haven't said Bartles' name in a few minutes, but he had it right there. 3:20 remaining, second half.
And Wilton is really drawing everybody up now. Ravi Chandran playing a midfield role.
Brandt sent back the other way. 3 minutes.
Any turnover of possession for Wilton at this point could be dangerous with so many people drawn up front, as we saw in that last play.
Nothing to lose for the Warriors at this point as Brandt gets tangled up. Fikry for the Cardinals. Now turned back the other way.
Oh, Printer got to it, but...
Printer did get to it, but...
Yeah, he was...
Got too much air.
Marked.
2.5 remaining.
Again, Wilton's used that left side to advantage this half. Much more in the first half. They didn't spread the ball out nearly as well in the opening half.
All the way down it goes. That'll hit the track. 1:58 remaining.
I'm not sure if Greenwich has another player besides Bartles who can create for himself. I haven't seen that.
Doesn't feel like it. 137. Near side, Lord. Lord tangled up with McLean.
A nice turn by Lord, but didn't draw the foul.
And the golf cart on the far side across the field, and the track is the athletic director, Pete Falla, as well as the athletic trainer, Pete Falla, and the athletic director, Gus Lundeen. Nearly turned back for Greenwich. They had what was going to be a 2-on-1, and it gets pushed over to the near side. Greenwich just with the numbers, and now Wilton able to reset, but Wilton in trouble. 50 seconds to go.
The Wilton goalie, Gray Livingston again out the field. Another nice job to read that play. He was acting more like a central defender there for a while.
Jensen on the far side to Brandt. Jack Brandt works it right down the football hash marks, but pushed away.
Oh, nice idea for Allers.
Half a minute to go. Cardinal fans think they've got this one in the bag. The Warriors trying to see if they've got something left. No panic with 18 to go. Now they're in some deep trouble.
Yeah, Greenwich will just want to hold on to the ball now.
Ortiz sends it ahead.
No, and that was not what you want to do.
And with 7 to go, this one all but over. Down to 4.
Offsides.
And that should do it.
Does it.
And there it is.
Oh, nice second half for Wilton. But they left it too late.
They did. They did, but they did climb back into it, and they came up, Greenwich did, with a 3-2 victory. Good job for the Cardinals. As they improve to 2-0-1 on the year, the Warriors drop to 1-1. What do you take away from it, Murph?
Well, a game of two halves, obviously, and when you have a player like Bartles, you have 3 goals in the first half, it's tough to come back from. I was surprised that Greenwich, the second half performance, they just seemed to take the foot off the pedal. And Wilton, you wonder why they didn't play like that in the first half. They moved the ball around much quicker, opened up space. I like how they used Brandt to come back, get the ball, distribute, go forward. So some positives, but you wonder why they didn't play like that at the beginning.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll take care of some business, and then we'll get you all set for a busy Friday. Our broadcast brought to you by Walter Stewart's Market, Pamby Motors, Coastal Orthopedics, and Carl Chevrolet. Murph and I come back to Greenwich High School with the final score in boys soccer. Greenwich 3, Wilton 2, right here on the HAN Network.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Does buying a car leave you feeling like you're chasing your tail? Head straight to Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and take car buying in a whole new direction.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Back at Greenwich High School's Cardinal Stadium with Tim Murphy, I'm Rob Adams. 3-2 final score. The Greenwich Cardinals get the win. In the first half, it was the Nick Bartles show, and that's really all that mattered. Tim Murphy, as the Cardinals put it away. Yes, Jack Brandt and Harry Allers made it 3-2, and yeah, it got close in the end, but Greenwich able to do the job.
Right, and Bartles, we saw why he's possibly the state's best striker, and he's going to be a force all season. It'll be interesting to see if they keep him in that midfield role when there's a player injured, a midfielder injured for Greenwich. But I think he adapts pretty well to that, and it does give him a little more room. He's good at distributing the ball, winning the ball, shielding the ball. And it might be to their benefit to avoid some of the man-to-man marking on him and have him come through the middle.
Do you see these teams as players in the FCIAC?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. It's early, so we haven't seen all the teams.
Right,
but
sure.
Wilton's going to get better as the season goes on. There's no doubt about it. They're well coached with all those seniors. They're definitely going to be there.
Yeah.
And Greenwich, when you have someone like Bartles, it's just, will they have enough? Is there a supporting cast there?
Right. I'm definitely impressed by the Cardinals, certainly in net and as well with Bartles, and now it's finding, as you mentioned, the other pieces.
Right. They didn't lose many players, but they lost some good complementary pieces, and you wonder, are they going to get that secondary scoring? We didn't really see it today. The other players besides Bartles that had chances didn't convert, and they're going to need that. You can't, even as good as he is, you can't rely on him to do everything.
Couple of bits and pieces of programming notes for you. First of all, this broadcast will air right after we say goodbye, so you'll watch it all over again on the HAN network. And it was beautifully shot by everybody here. Tracy, JB, AJ up above. Great work by all of them. Marty was here as well. I saw Kate and Josh as well. I'm sure I'm missing somebody. Eric was here directing, and, of course, Murph right alongside of me. And Adam, right, thanks, Murph. So I knew somebody else was missing. Adam did a nice job as well, and first time he's worked his way onto the crew. So appreciate all of them for the effort. And we have a big day tomorrow. It'll all start at 11 o'clock with coffee break. Then we will get set for a big evening of sports in general, but high school football overall, beginning with the FCIAC Tailgate Show at 4, followed by the FCIAC Game Day Show at 5, and then Chris Irway and I on the call, the play-by-play tomorrow night, and finally high school football in the FCIAC gets going overall as the Ridgefield Tigers host the New Canaan Rams at Lancaster Field at Tiger Hollow. With all that said, Eric Gendron, that'll do it from Greenwich High School's Cardinal Stadium. We thank Brian Kennedy and the good people here at Cardinal Stadium for having us on site as the Greenwich Cardinals come up with a 3-2 win in boys soccer over the Wilton Warriors. The Cardinals, they are 2-0-1, and for Wilton, they fall to 1-1. We'll see you tomorrow for coffee break at 11 o'clock. Football tomorrow night at 7. Lots in between. And our broadcast brought to you one more time by Walter Stewart's Market, Pamby Motors, Coastal Orthopedics, and Carl Chevrolet. For our entire crew here, Eric Gendron and Tim Murphy, I'm Rob Adams. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. A busy day from Ridgefield. But for now, from Greenwich, good night, everyone.
The preceding has been a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties.